The observation deck of the Meridian Station offered a view that had silenced thousands of species across the galaxy. Through the transparent aluminum viewport, Earth hung like a blue marble against the velvet darkness of space, swirled with white clouds and dotted with green and brown continents. Zixithara stood motionless before the window, her crystalline exoskeleton catching the reflected light from the planet below. She had traveled 300 light-years to reach this diplomatic outpost, representing her people, the Velcari, in the newest round of interstellar negotiations. But now, in this quiet moment before the meetings began, shame burned through her consciousness like acid. She was hideous. She knew this now. For cycles beyond counting, the Velcari had considered themselves beautiful. Their translucent carapaces that shifted colors with emotion, their multiple graceful limbs, their compound eyes that could see across spectrums invisible to most species. But then they had encountered humanity and everything changed. Humans, with their soft, vulnerable skin, their bilateral symmetry, their simple, forward-facing eyes that somehow held depths of emotion, her people's complex visual organs could never convey. They were magnetic in a way Zixithara couldn't understand, drawing the gaze of every species they encountered. Humans were invited to diplomatic functions that excluded others. Human art commanded prices that bankrupted colonies. Human fashion influenced worlds that had never seen Earth. The galaxy had spoken, and its verdict was clear. Humanity was beautiful, and the Velcari were not. It's something, isn't it? Zixithara's body stiffened, her carapace flushing a deep purple of embarrassment. She turned to see a human male approaching. Ambassador Jack Morrison, her counterpart in the upcoming negotiations. She had studied his file but had avoided him since arriving at the station. Ambassador Morrison, she managed, her translator rendering her clicking speech into standard. I did not expect anyone else here. Jack smiled, that peculiar arrangement of facial muscles that humans use to convey warmth. He was tall for his species, with graying hair at his temples and lines around his eyes that humans called crow's feet. Another strange custom, naming their imperfections after animals. Just Jack is fine, he said, moving to stand beside her at the viewport. I come here every morning before the chaos begins. It reminds me why we're doing all this. Zixithara said nothing. Her shame was too great. She wanted to leave, but her diplomatic training held her in place. Are you all right? Jack asked, concern evident in his voice. Your carapace, the colors. I've learned a bit about Velcari biology. Purple means distress, doesn't it? Before she could respond, a small figure burst through the observation deck doors. Dad! Dad, I found you! A human child, Jack's daughter Zixithara realized, ran across the deck, her dark hair streaming behind her. She was perhaps 8 or 9 standard years old, wearing a bright yellow dress that seemed almost aggressively cheerful. Elif, what are you doing up so early? Jack asked, but his tone was gentle, amused. Couldn't sleep, Elif said, then stopped short when she saw Zixithara. The child's eyes, those remarkable human eyes, widened. Here it comes, Zixithara thought. The fear, the disgust. Even human children recognized ugliness when they saw it. But then Elif's face broke into a brilliant smile. Wow, the girl breathed, stepping closer. You're so beautiful. Zixithara's carapace flickered through several colors in rapid succession. Confusion, disbelief, suspicion. Child, you need not— No, really. Elif interrupted, circling Zixithara slowly. Look at how your shell changes colors. It's like you're wearing the rainbow. And you have so many arms, that must be so useful. Can you see in different colors than we can? Elif, Jack said softly, remember your manners. But Dad, look at her. She's like a living jewel. Why don't we have exoskeletons? That would be so cool. Zixithara stood frozen, her translator struggling to keep up with the rapid shifts in her emotional state. You think I'm beautiful? Of course, Elif said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the galaxy. You're amazing. All those facets catching the light and the way you move, it's like watching water flow. We learned about the Velcari in school. Miss Chen said you're one of the oldest civilizations in the galaxy, that you had spaceflight before humans even had fire. Jack placed a hand on his daughter's shoulder. What Elif is trying to say, perhaps less exuberantly, is that beauty isn't a competition. It's not about being better or worse than anyone else. But the galaxy, Zixithara began. The galaxy is full of trends, Jack interrupted gently. Right now, yes, human aesthetics are popular. 20 years ago, it was the Silthine. Before that, the Chromath. Beauty is subjective, Ambassador. It changes. What doesn't change is the inherent worth of a being. Elif tugged on her father's sleeve. Dad, can I tell her? Jack nodded, and Elif turned back to Zixthera, her young face serious now. My dad says humans became pretty to other species because we're new and different. Novelty, he calls it. But he also says that humans spend billions of credits every year trying to look different than they are, changing their skin color, their eye color, their hair. Lots of humans think they're ugly too. Even your father? Zixthera asked, surprised at her own question. Especially me, Jack admitted with a self-deprecating laugh. I look in the mirror and see every flaw every year of aging. But Elif here reminds me that beauty is in seeing and being seen with kindness. Zixthera's carapace slowly shifted to a soft gold, wonder, touched with hope. Your species is strange, Ambassador Morrison. Jack, and yes, we are. But so is every species in their own way. That's what makes the galaxy interesting. Elif grabbed Zixthera's lower right hand, her small human fingers warm against the cool carapace. Can you show me how your colors change? What's happy? What's excited? As Zixthera cycled through her emotional spectrum for the delighted human child, she felt something shift inside her consciousness. Perhaps beauty wasn't about galactic consensus or universal standards. Perhaps it was simpler and more complex than that, a choice to see and be seen with wonder rather than judgment. So beautiful. Dad, Elif whispered, watching Zixthera's carapace shimmer through a rainbow of emotions. And in that moment, with Earth hanging luminous behind them and a child's unfiltered joy surrounding her, Zixthera finally believed it might be true.